Marriage is good, and Satan hates anything that is good. So you have to learn how he operates, the ways and means that the enemy will come against your marriage, so that you can strategize correctly and then plan how you can be on the defensive. So, number one, he uses your thought patterns. When you are there, a lot of thoughts will flood in your mind. You have to be very, very careful so that you will not believe a lie. The devil is a liar and a thief and a deceiver. Jesus calls him the father of lies. You see, when you read Genesis chapter 3, verse 1, when the serpent came, he said, did God say? Okay, he was trying to imprint something on their minds to doubt God, to doubt the message that God has given them, to doubt him. So the same way, whenever your husband or your wife does something, the enemy will come, okay? And then what he will do is that he will make you believe a lie so that you would doubt the love of your husband, so that you will doubt the respect of your wife. So you have to be very, very careful. You don't have to entertain any thought in your mind. The Holy Spirit is called the Spirit of Truth. So anytime you're having a lot of thoughts that are flooding through your mind, tell the Holy Spirit, you are the Spirit of Truth. Jesus said, you will guide me into all truth. Let me know the truth concerning this issue. Because you know that you are married to a human being who is a work in progress. So anytime your husband does something or your wife does something, the enemy will say, well, your husband did that because your husband is flirting or going out. You may not even have any evidence. Sometimes you have evidence. That one is different. Sometimes you may not have any evidence. It's just your thought. He's playing. He's manipulating your thought. So be careful. Allow the Spirit of truth to filter through all the thoughts that are going through your mind. And the second one is wrong imagination. Imagining that if you had married your ex, things would have been different. So be careful of what you are imagining. Sometimes you'll be watching some soap operas and watching some telenovelas and all those series, and you believe that your husband must act that way, your wife must act that way. If you want to have the right imagination, imagine that your marriage is based on Ephesians chapter 5. Your husband is loving you the way Christ loved the church, and your wife is submissive and respectful. So that is what you have to imagine. Have that perfect picture of Ephesians chapter 5 and 1 Peter chapter 3 before you. So guard your imagination. Don't imagine things that are not real. Telenovelas, they are not real. So that you will not compare that with your marriage and think that your marriage is not strong, or maybe have a wrong thought or imagining something that is not real. Face reality. God has given you a beautiful husband, a beautiful wife. Don't allow the enemy to manipulate your imagination to imagine something that if it was that man, if it was that girl, if it was somebody else, okay? Be careful of your imagination. And your imagination, as I said, have a picture, a very beautiful picture of your marriage. Even if your husband or your wife is not doing what you are expecting him to do, start speaking life over him or her. Start speaking life, what you want to see. Faith is a substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. So you speak into existence, and at the right time, God will make it happen. And then the final one the enemy uses is manipulating our feelings. You will think that, oh, I don't feel anything towards my husband. I don't feel anything towards my wife. So I'm not in love anymore. Be careful. Because if you take a decision based on your feelings, you'll be in serious trouble. God gave us our feelings, but they are not to master us. We are supposed to master our feelings. So ensure that you don't allow the enemy to manipulate your feelings and tell you that, oh, you don't love your husband anymore, you don't love your wife anymore. And then you meet another man or another girl and you think that that person will be good for you. But remember, when you fell in love, you felt the same way. Feelings don't sustain marriage. It's about commitment, dedication. You are committed to the marriage. I know that you hurt me. I know that you can get me angry, but I'm committed to this marriage. So it's about commitment and dedication. It's not about you. If the feeling goes down, what you have to do is find creative ways. Okay, start going out together, start communicating, start conversing, start talking about stuff, start giving your husband or your wife gifts, start affirming him or her. Do so many things that will bring back the spark. But don't say that you are feeling that for somebody else, so you are going to abandon your home. So be careful. You have an enemy who will try to manipulate your thought, your imagination, and your feelings. Don't allow him.